live? It says upcoming. Oh, it might be on. Is it live?
Hello and welcome to It's Not For You. If you're not me or Riley from the future, leave. This isn't for you. We're reading children's book based on children's video games for us. Go away.
I am also here. I am just confused because I'm looking at the stream and I see a beautiful background of Callie's office. And then mine, it has like the GoogleMeets.com.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. We're just, okay. I didn't know if that was intentional.
Bro, literally. Here, let's see if I can fix it.
Fixes this thing. What we're doing today is we are talking about I think it's 6th.
Okay, it's technically the 5th one, but we whiffed it.
Yeah, we've moved some things around. It's called The Final Scene. It is one of my least favorite games, but the book was good.
Pretty bad.
We're going to be comparing our thoughts, sharing our thoughts and feelings about the books and the game. I've got some thoughts. Remember when I had that crash out about the haunted carousel?
Which one, Riley? You had several crash outs. You can't. I'm sorry. You can literally not even say that you haven't, ma'am.
Oh no! Every time I look at that game, I have a crash out. But do you remember that one time when we get out of here? Sorry, I had a pop-up come up. Remember that one time when we talked about Haunted Carousel, I think on stream, and you said it was like the funniest crash out I've ever had when I just like let go about my thoughts and feelings about the Haunted Carousel.
Yeah, I do.
I have some thoughts and feelings about this game. I don't know that it's Haunted Carousel level, but it was pretty darn close when I was playing it. I don't know about you. I did some major cheating on this one.
On this, did you cheat on this one?
Oh my god, yeah. I found a tutorial that walked you through the game step by step.
That's
and I just
funny.
did that. I just had to.
Yeah.
How's it going over there?
I did also cheat on this game. I just want to say that, like, we set a goal for ourselves to play through all of these on Senior Detective mode, and this is not part of that to me, personally.
No.
I don't feel like I have to. You're back on.
I am.
I don't feel like I have to, like, try my hardest on these games. I just feel like I have to do them, you know?
Yeah.
I'm here for the plot, and the plot only.
Exactly.
That being said, I do feel like the plot in this book and in this game matched pretty closely. I will say that I think, like, the things that they changed, they didn't really need to change, but part of that would have, I think, just been, like, this book was written in 1980-something, and there weren't a lot of female characters outside of our girls of Nance, Bess, and George, and
right.
I think, like, they changed to add a few more girl characters in, which is fine, but they also had to simplify the character list, and I don't feel like they were super confident and comfortable with switching locations in a game yet.
No, they were very clearly limited by the, like, production software that they were using.
Oh, for sure.
Because you could not leave.
For sure. Yeah.
There were like 4 rooms you could go to.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to do the summary of the book and I'll do the game?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Did you want me to start?
Go for it, girlfriend.
All right. I liked the book a lot. Actually, it was really fast. It was like 100 pages. And so to summarize, we start off with Nancy, Bess, and George outside of the Royal Palladium Theater. They are in line to view the premiere of a movie whose name I already forgot. But what they're really there for is because Bess really wants to see the actor in the movie, Brady Armstrong. This
I
was
do want to
something
say
that
that this movie had something to do with a spacesuit. They referenced
I,
his
yeah, it was
shiny
something space or
spacesuit.
aircraft related.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was not a movie that I would probably stand in line to go see, but I digress. They're in line. This was something that I thought was kind of an interesting connection that the book made, was that they actually knew the actor Brady Armstrong before he starred in the movie. He went to their
True.
school, and he was like a
Mhm.
couple of years old or 4 years older than them, I think. He was a senior when they were freshmen.
Yeah.
So they actually knew him beforehand. And Bess had a huge massive crush on him. So
Well, he's a boy
they,
with hair, so
oh, of course,
you know.
he's a boy with hair. As Bess lovingly called him. So they dip out of line because Bess has worked at the theater and she knows a secret way in. So they sneak in through the back of the theater. And once they're in, they make their way over into the dressing room. George and Nancy let Bess go in and have her little conversation with Brady Armstrong, who is there, unlike the game. And while she's in there, they hear her scream, and Brady comes running, and oh my God, Bess has been kidnapped again.
Well, and interestingly enough, like he sees her gagged and tied up, and a man in a ski mask. Like he's able to say that.
Right. So we know right off the bat, kind of, that the main suspect is a man. And we see, as you mentioned, we know that Bess is kidnapped because she's gagged and tied up. Whereas in the game, we just hear Maya scream, and then she's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not taken as seriously, I think. So then Bess and George, after Brady reveals this information to them, they embark on this investigation to locate Bess. They meet such characters as, Brady Armstrong, obviously, because he was there. They meet the caretaker whose name is, what's his name? Names are
Joseph
escaping me
Hughes.
today. Hold on.
It's Joseph Hughes.
Joseph Hughes, thank you. Joseph Hughes, the very willing to assist caretaker. They meet the agent who is skeezy throughout the entire book and is definitely created to be the main suspect of the reader. And then they meet, oh my God, I can't think of any names today. I should have written them down. They meet this I don't know what the word is. He's like a developer and he wants to knock the Palladium Theater down so that he can build a new theater. Well,
Bart
the problem
Allen.
is, what was his name?
Like Bart Allen.
Yeah, something like that. I'm just going to call him Alan by his last name. So Alan wants to knock the theater down within 3 days, but as far as the girls are concerned, Bess is still in the building. So they have to not only try to prove that she's still there so that they don't knock the building down, but they also have to find her because she's been kidnapped and nobody knows where she is. So Nancy leads the charge on this, obviously. George is, as always, helpful. Brady is actually very helpful in this investigation, which I was not expecting because I've played the game before. But Brady was like willing to help as much as possible, while being a little ditzy. He was like a little bit of a himbo, but in a good way. There's a few near-death experiences along the way. Nancy almost gets decapitated by a falling light fixture backstage. This does happen in the game. George and Nancy are on the catwalks when George's catwalk is unscrewed and she almost goes falling to her death and has to be hoisted back up to safety. I don't think there are any other like crazy near death experiences. There is a kidnapping.
The projector screen falls on Nancy and lands her in the hospital.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the most important one. Yes, the projector screen. After Nancy meets with Brady's co-star, falls on her, and then the co-star has to come back and save Nancy and take her to the hospital because she almost dies there. There is a kidnapping because while all of this is going on, there's a protest group outside who's trying to save old structures. They're called Had It.
And they've had it
And
with ugly buildings.
Being torn down, or beautiful buildings being torn down, ugly buildings being built in their place. And so Nicholas Falcone, the leader of Had It, becomes a suspect of the Allen guy and gets kidnapped by him and interrogated against his will.
To the chair.
And yeah, like strapped to the chair,
abducted from his home.
Fully kidnapped. Nancy goes to investigate or talk to him at his apartment, and it's completely ransacked. And crazy so town. There's that. I really liked him a lot more in the book than I did in the game also.
Yeah.
Just the book character. I think that's why I like the book more. The book characters are just a lot more palatable. Although I did not like Alan at all. So there's some danger and craziness along the way there. Ultimately, Nancy does find Bess. Spoiler alert. She does find Bess.
After the wrecking ball already had a swing.
It did. It did. That is a difference between the game and the book. The wrecking ball hits the building once before they find Bess. And they are able to stop the demolition.
And the kidnappers in there, like, they're going to kill us all.
Yeah. Okay.
Crazy.
I'm trying to decide, should I share my thoughts about him first or wait till you do your debrief on the game?
Let's do our debrief on the game, and then we can talk about our feelings. I feel like in 10 years when I have no idea what this book was about, because I read this book a year ago, when we were going to do this a year ago, and I went to read it a second time, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. But I know I read it because my Kindle literally says read.
Yeah.
Like, I opened that book to the last page. I read every word. No recollection. This is for future Callie, who's going to be like, I know I read this book twice because it took Riley a year to read it, but what was it about?
Okay. Yeah. But, okay, do you want to take off with the game?
Yeah, here's the summary of the game. Bess and George, not involved. You can call them on the phone. They're not present. Okay? Your friend Maya is the lead reporter for Wash U, and she is here to get the info on Brady Armstrong, who was not a kid from your high school who made it big, but the guy from Game 2 who was annoying and ugly then. Okay? Maya goes into his dressing room and disappears into thin air, and then you find a cute little secret passageway that takes you to the ladies' dressing room. Here's the thing, though. There's a lady in there. Her name's Simone. She's Brady's agent.
She sucks.
And anytime you end a conversation with her, your conversation ending phrase is, I think your phone's about to ring.
Which is honestly iconic.
Facts. That really sums up Simone as a character. She's always on the phone. She's not helpful. She's real annoying. And then Joseph Hughes, the caretaker of the Grand Palladian, comes running down. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? You tell him that your friend is missing. The heartthrob, he doesn't really seem to care a ton. Brady is just uninterested. You meet Nicholas Falcone, who is like willing to help you research, but isn't really willing to help you look.
Right.
And immediately, like, a big change in this game is you are away at a location. Like, you can call Bess, George, and Ned, but you're not in River Heights. So when you call the police, they don't come help you. Detective Ryan isn't going to fly out of nowhere. They're like, well, she hasn't been missing for 24 hours, and sometimes they just show up, and Nicholas Falcone is involved. Like, oh, his girlfriend did this the last time. She was the development person's daughter, and this is all probably a publicity stunt. Like, this happened before. Like, and Nancy's like, my friend is missing, and she's in here. And they're like, yeah, honey, it's been 10 minutes. Like, you gotta calm down. Like, so she starts, like, you know, interviewing people. In day one, you're like exploring, you're interviewing, like you kind of come to this conclusion that like Simone is kind of awful and Brady's kind of annoying and Joseph is really sweet and there to help and Nicholas is kind of off in his own world. So you're really struggling to think like, oh, who did done it. You get into the basement, you solve a couple puzzles there, you end up finding the magician's room, and you see Maya's shoe, and you see her eating pizza, but when you actually get into the magician's room, she's gone. Several times, Joseph is like, oh, the kidnapper called, oh, I found this evidence, oh, like, he's able to find some things that you aren't able to find, but we kind of chalk that up to, like, he's worked at this place for 40 years and you're a college student on spring vacay, you know?
Yeah, right.
In day 2, things kind of start to heat up. The light falls, you know, you're struggling. Demolition's tomorrow. But in the end, you kind of come to realize that these are the actions of a delusional man who would do anything to save a theater. And it's not the one with a poorly named activist group. Joseph like really, really believes that if the girl is still in the theater, even though he's heard the police say like, she's probably not here, he really, really thinks if she's still in here, they're not going to knock it down, even as they're hearing it. And he tries to like push you away. He tries to like keep you there and like wrestle you to the ground, even as you like hear it come up, you know. And you have to turn on the light to make sure that they know that you're in there. I think the thing about Joseph in the game that I find to be crazy is that he tells you he's going to open a movie theater with his brother who's dead. Like, he's going to move to his brother's town to open a movie theater there. Like, that's what he tells you he's going to do when they close this place. And, like, in the book, I feel he is a sinister character. In the game, I feel like he's a gentle old guy with dementia, you know, like.
That's interesting you say that because I was going to say the opposite.
I think he's way scarier in the book.
I thought he was worse I thought he was.
Tell me more. I need to know.
I'm trying to like formulate. So in the book, the scene that stands out to me is when they find Nicholas Falcone kidnapped and Nancy comes to his rescue. And Joseph is there and he sees this and he says, like, he starts to panic and he's like, I didn't mean for it to go this far. I didn't want this to happen. All I wanted was like, I just wanted to keep her safe. Like,
he runs out of a fire escape.
Right.
Dementia patients don't run out of a fire escape.
Yeah, exactly.
You're proving my point, bro.
He's just, I don't know. In the book, he seemed more like it was more of a desperate attempt. Like he was trying to kidnap her as a desperate attempt, obviously, to save the theater, but it snowballed so fast and he lost control of it. And he was like consistently trying to clean up the mess. Still very delusional. Still like there are signs of dementia there. No. He was
I
thought that's what you said.
He was very aware of what he was doing in the book. Like he intentionally tried to drop the screen, and he says it like, I tried to drop the screen so that you would know that the kidnapper was still here. I wanted to keep you here. I wanted you to stay here. I wanted you to. He like would manipulate evidence and then lead her to a place that he had just removed her from to show them that she was still in the
Mhm.
building. And all that really did for the police was be like, oh, she's probably out of the building now. And then he would like hurt Nancy to be like, no, she's still in here. I'm causing you pain, so you know she's still in here. Like this is a man who's not in his right mind. I agree with that. I don't get the
Yeah,
sense that he's like confused and
yeah,
delusional.
not as much as the game.
Yeah, like in the game, I personally feel like this is a man who like kind of has some signs of dementia. Like he doesn't really understand what's going on. Like,
Hmm.
oh, if I keep her here, they won't knock it down. Like you can't take her away. If I keep her here, then they can't knock it down. No, buddy, the wrecking ball's outside. Like she has to go. We're gonna die. And he's like, no, she just has to stay here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that part I totally get what you're saying. Like, it's more delusion and like confusion than
yeah, I think he's
malice.
more evil in the book.
I think his actions in the book are definitely more evil. I think that I do think there's a level of like, he was so desperate to hold on to this thing that he kidnapped a girl
He
and
tried to
then
kidnap a
realized how
boy.
horrible it was. And it was like, he would manipulate the evidence, try to get Nancy closer to the truth, like to, the proof that she was there. But then, like, whenever the police would say, oh, this means she's not there, then that would make it snowball more and more and more
Yeah.
and make him more and more desperate to like hold on to that. And then by the end, it was just like completely out of control. And he had no idea
Yeah.
how to fix it. Or, I think it was more like panic, panic responses. And the more the book went on, where the malice and like where it becomes more him becoming more scary in the game for me was the last conversation they had in the projector room when Joseph like comes up and sees Nancy in there, and he's like, hey, when I come here tomorrow, you know
That was the
I'm
delusion
gonna do
for
this,
me.
this, and this, or maybe this place needs a new coat of paint. My So that could be one of two things. It could be what you're interpreting, which is confusion, which makes him less scary than the book.
Yeah.
But for me, when I first like hit the tone of voice that he used and stuff, for me, the way I interpreted it was like intentionally, completely like disregarding the fact that the building was being knocked down. And like
Yeah.
him being so like far gone that even though it might be like delusion or confusion, like the fact that he's that far gone and like not in any capacity to help or like understand that there's a wrecking ball outside and we're all gonna die in this building is very scary.
No, I think you're right about that. That like I'm so out of touch with what's happening here that like I think that what I'm doing is helping and that like my actions aren't going to have a consequence outside of the like happy-go-lucky story I'm telling. Like I think that's totally terrifying. I don't think
Right.
it's malicious though. Like
Yeah, the
in
malice
the
part
book I
does
get
make
the
it very
sense that he's
scary.
malicious.
Very much more so
Yeah.
because he doesn't like, yeah, he drops the light on your head, and then there is the electrocuted door
In the
in
game.
the secret passageway, yeah, in the game. Those are still like, I mean, they could be malicious.
But in the
There's
book,
no
he's
proof.
eavesdropping. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they talked about that rustle in the curtain. Like, in the book, he stalked them. They were never alone. He would,
the
like,
stalking part is what's missing from the game to make it as malicious, I think.
yeah.
Because there's still the like actively putting them in danger and like the attempted murder attempts.
All
But
four of them? Yeah.
oh yeah, all of them. But the stalking is missing from the game, which
Yeah.
does make him scarier. I think, yeah, the fact that he's so like, I think you put it perfectly, like out of touch with what's happening in the game. Like to be Nancy in that moment where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come in and like put a fresh coat of paint on the walls tomorrow. like at that point she's probably thinking like, does he even remember that he kidnapped a girl? Does he even remember where she where she is? Or like, do I now have to find her and get him out? Because I might find her and get her out of here, but he might just stay here because he just fully believes that there's not a wrecking crew outside ready to knock this building down on top of his head. Like, that's such a
Scary place
that's
to be.
a horrible moment. And I think in like any of the games, that's like one of the worst moments for
Yeah.
her to have to like wrestle with. And she obviously is like Maya's first, but yeah, that it was just such a. I remember the first time we played that game, and we really didn't want it to be him.
Because we liked him.
We liked him, but now as I replayed this game, I was like, how did we not see it?
Well, I think, you know what's crazy about that is that like when we played this game for the first time, my grandma was showing like the early signs of like memory stuff, you know? And so like she would tell me something and then tell me something again. And I like when he did that, when he was like, yeah, tomorrow I want to put a fresh coat of paint on this place. Maybe it's what it needs. I was like, oh, he just forgot what day it is. Like, oh, like my grandma forgets what day it is. Like that is totally the headspace I'm in when I encounter him in the game.
Mm-hmm.
When I encounter him in the book, and like we're reading through Nancy's perspective, and she it's never a thought in her mind that it's him. It's never a thought in her mind.
No,
like
not even
to
once.
the point where she goes to Nick Falcone's grandfather's home because she thinks it might be him instead of considering Joseph. And she sees the three of them in a photo in 2 different locations, and she never considers it's Joseph. Like, she gets a call that's like, there's an older guy, and she's like, it's the grandpa that I've never seen in this theater, not a once. It's the grandpa, not the old guy who's been following you around this place for days and is the only guy who's ever found evidence, even though you also looked there. Like, the way that Nancy just like never considers him in the book, even though I think in the book it's like so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Really validated me not thinking it wasn't him in the game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we really, really liked him. He was so helpful. He was like, he's one of the most helpful characters in any Nancy Drew game. It makes me think of the quote. It's from a show and I don't remember what it is, but I think it's BoJack Horseman. But it's anything like when you look at something through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Red flags just look like flags.
Yeah.
That's Nancy. And in both the book and the game.
Truly.
She's like, wow, I like this guy is really stepping up to help me with this case. I'm really grateful. And she's overlooking all of the red flags because of like how much she cares about this guy.
Totally.
And he like on the surface is just like this really sweet old man with these like quirky little sayings, and he's finding all of this evidence to help her, and she's so desperate to find.
Well, and let's be so clear too, like nobody else is really trying. Like in the book, Nicholas Falcone is trying, but he's been villainized so much by every other character that she's stupid if she doesn't think it's him, you know? And in the game, like Brady Armstrong's trying for publicity, but he's not actually helping. Like, he finds the press pass, but does he really? Like, is he just taking a bunch of selfies with it? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, no one else is really willing to help her in the way that Joseph is, and so I see why it's so easy to write him off.
Absolutely. Now you've mentioned that, I have a hot take about
Some of your hot takes
about Brady and Simone in the game.
Hit me with it.
Is that they also should have been arrested for like hiding and mishandling evidence.
Yeah.
They withheld it. Like, they found it in the basement. They took it, used it for their own like gain or whatever. Like they used a picture of Maya's press pass. Brady found her notebook and like put it in his bag. So that's theft and mishandling evidence.
I want to circle back to something here. This is very important to me. Can we talk about Tinseltown for a minute?
Oh my god. No, we can't.
Hey, I just want to. Hi, I'm sorry. I can't believe this wasn't the first thing we talked about, and clearly, the trauma of losing Riley's face on this really kept me from this. We need to talk about Tinseltown for a moment, okay?
Oh my
In the
God.
game, this was like a theater built for magicians. Like J.J. Thompson's
Yeah.
the builder of the theater. He loved magicians. He had a run-in with Houdini. He owed Houdini a lot of money. Ends up selling Houdini half of the theater. Blah blah bloopity bloop. Boopity boopity boop. Okay? And somehow it comes back that the two living descendants who own half of this theater ends up being Brady Armstrong and Nick Falcone. And Nick Falcone is somehow related to Houdini because his grandmother, who has the same name as his grandfather in the book, did the plaster work. It's a really cute little art story. Okay, whatever. Brady Armstrong is the J.J. Thompson descendant, and he's trying to sell the Royal Palladium Theater to himself under a false name so he can turn it into a themed restaurant entitled Tinseltown. I have several questions about Tinseltown. Is it a restaurant that's all silver? Or is it a Christmas themed restaurant where everything's decorated in tinsel? Because either way, that seems flammable and unreasonably hot and not good for a restaurant. Huh?
I think Tinseltown is a reference to Hollywood. There's a movie theater near me called Tinseltown, and
You don't think
So
it's
I
about
think
Christmas trees?
no. I think the actor wants to make the restaurant called Tinseltown to have a Hollywood themed theater. Not Christmas.
I'm so confused.
At least that's what I had, because
Cite your sources. Look
Hollywood
that
likes
up.
to
I
your
need
name
to
in
know.
lights, everything is shiny and sparkly. I think Tinseltown is a reference to Hollywood.
Look that up.
But it's still stupid. He's
Google it.
such a-
I need to know.
Google it? Okay,
Right
hold on,
now.
hold on.
I'm over here imagining a Christmas tree on every table flowing with
Tinseltown.
tinsel and tinsel getting in other people's spaghetti. Okay, like I'm having a really clear vision.
Yep. Hollywood synonym. Hollywood or Tinseltown. Hollywood is a synonym or superficially glamorous world it represents.
What?
Example in a sentence: temp agency would become a method choice for those who want to get a foot in Tinseltown's door. Why is Hollywood called Tinseltown? Do you ask? By the 1930s, Hollywood studios became fully vertically integrated as the production, distribution, and exhibition controlled by these companies, enabling Hollywood to produce 600 films a year.
You're telling
Hollywood
me this
became
is a
known as
vertical
Tinseltown and the
experience?
Dream Factory because of the glittering image of the movie industry.
I think the Christmas tree thing was better. Anyway.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
That's absolutely it. You know what the worst thing is that like in the games, Brady Armstrong is portrayed as so stupid that even though that was clearly an intentional Hollywood reference, I guarantee he was gonna do the Christmas tree thing.
Oh, for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure.
He's so into unintentionally stupid that like you could say, "Oh yeah, no, it's meant to be like Christmas themed," and I'd buy it.
Also, hi. I just hang on. Can we talk about he was selling it to himself?
Yeah, I glossed over that part.
He could have just like put out a thing in the newspaper that was like owner of ancient building decides to build theme restaurant.
Right.
Done. And
Done.
yeah, Nick Falcone would have been mad at him forever, but like he owned it.
Right. It's just so dumb. I can't. This is why I have beef with the game, because the book actually made a semblance of sense.
Facts. Do you remember when we read the book for Treasure in a Royal Tower and I made you describe it in 3 words and I described it with like no stakes?
Yes.
I feel like this book had a lot of like action, a lot of logic, a lot of like it was palpable. Bess was missing. We love Bess. We were worried about Bess. Like her getting pulled out of that like air conditioning compartment is horrifying to me. Like we had a lot of stakes in the book. This game, no stakes. No. Except for Nancy yelling at everyone. Like I didn't feel the stakes. In fairness, it wasn't midnight and we weren't in your parents' basement. And we hadn't eaten far too many M&Ms.
Or popcorn.
I feel like we get in big trouble when we're eating like 2 bags of popcorn and M&Ms. Like we just don't think right. We're not having proper brain food.
It alters our brain chemistry.
We need more protein. Maybe that's what it is. When we play Nancy Drew games, we don't eat enough protein, and that's why we're crazy people. That's gotta be it.
This was not the game that we had a fight during.
No,
was it?
That was the other one.
That was the other. That's why I hate the other one. But
the
I also
associate this game with
the other one. Huh?
The other one's just bad. It's just bad for its own
it
sake.
is, yeah.
You almost get strangled at the end. It's a bad game.
I think that this game has the potential to be better if it was made in a different time and they had more capability to like put some bells and whistles in the production sector of the thing.
Yeah.
2, as you said, there's no stakes. We don't I do care about Maya. Maya's great. But like we don't know her. We know Bess. So like and George. Like we know both of them. Or Ned. Like we could.
How many times did you
if
call
it's someone
Ned?
we know and love, we have motive to find them. Change it to somebody that we know.
Facts. More
and
importantly,
then also,
how many times did you call Ned?
0.
Same.
I tried. He never picked up, so we're broken up now.
How many times did you try to call him?
Twice.
I tried to call him one time, and he's like, I'm in the Chi Omega house, frat boy. And I was like, see you never. I'm never calling you.
We're broken up. I guess I would have broken up with him either way. He never picked up any of the times that I tried to call him, so I just...
Worst boyfriend ever.
Worst boyfriend ever.
Sorry,
the last thing that I would change in this game is make less people suck. Like, Nicholas Falcone kind of sucked for some of it. Brady did, for sure.
That's my critique of, like, half the games.
Huh?
That's my critique of, like, half the games. It's like, I don't like them.
I don't like half of these people. And I get you're supposed to look at them all like a suspect, but it's not interesting when they all suck.
Except for Joseph, who actually did it.
Who actually did. It's, I know that we don't usually swear on this podcast, but I've been listening to a lot of Smosh's Am I the Asshole podcast, Reddit podcast. And it's rare that we get
about
like
booties on the internet, Riley. It's inappropriate.
What?
I can't believe you just talked about booties on the internet. That's inappropriate.
Booties?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Think about the title of that podcast.
Oh, oh my God. It's so late. I am so tired.
I'm 34. You're fine, bro.
I'm so tired.
The doctor said I'm not allowed to go to bed until 11:07 p.m.
Why is that so specific?
And I can't go into my bed until 10:57 p.m.
Oh my God.
I wish it was a joke.
I know it's not. I know it's not. But anyway, so what?
11:07 is crazy.
7 is so specific. Oh my God. I mean, when I come visit you, we're going to bed at 11:07.
Oh, we can't go into our beds until 10:57. You only get 10 minutes to fall asleep.
Oh, it takes me less than that.
Can't relate. Bro,
You
have
it's
you
okay.
been-
You can give me a Coca-Cola before I go to bed, and then it'll take me 30 minutes to go to sleep.
Did you play the Myrtle today?
No.
Have you played
I have to
any
get up
of
and
the
play again.
Myrtles?
No. I want to get a book of it.
No.
I need to go to Barnes & Noble anyway because
No, you don't
I
need to go
have
to
to
Barnes &
get
Noble. You haven't read a single book. Play the online Myrtle. It's free daily.
a single book. Way to call me out like that.
My husband got me a box set of books for my birthday, which hasn't even happened yet. I'm on the third one, bro.
No, I go to work every day.
And I think like a you problem. How much Smosh are you watching after work?
No.
You could be reading.
I could be reading.
What are you doing in the mornings? You don't go to work till like 10. You could be reading.
Getting ready and
You
grocery
want to know
shopping.
how many books I've read since summer started? Because I'm a teacher and I don't work.
Huh?
7.
Dang,
It's been 2 weeks.
that's awesome.
I have a porch swing now.
Well, there you go. I don't have that.
I crashed
have-
through the ceiling on the first day of having a porch swing.
Well, you got it up. You got it up.
And no ceiling crashes have happened since we, put it in a joist.
There you go.
Huge.
Beautiful.
I don't know
What are your
we're
final-
talking about.
We're talking about this game, apparently.
Are we?
Are we? Oh, the point of what I was saying about the am I the asshole? I think this is
Talk about
one of those
bullying on the
very
internet.
rare situations that everybody was the asshole in this game.
It's not rare. That's like 3/4 of Nancy Drew games.
Not everybody. Remember Jamila?
Yeah.
She wasn't. We
But
love
she
Jamila.
was in the next game.
No.
Yeah.
What did she do?
In the
I love
Egypt
Jamila.
game, she's unhelpful.
Yeah, she's unhelpful because she's trying to help.
She's not.
Okay, Sunny June.
Always unhelpful. Bro
Yeah,
is
but
not
does
a
that
girl's
make
girl
him-
and he does not get it.
He's not. No, he is not a girl's girl. Okay, Frank Hardy.
Is my internet husband and I love him. Not to be confused with my actual husband who came in here mid-podcast to steal my book. Rude.
Rude.
I left you Easter eggs on this video, just so you know.
Did you?
I sure did. They're visual Easter eggs, so you actually have to watch it to find them.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. They aren't real
Love
Easter
you.
eggs like the last time. But I do have... This is hi. Welcome to Callie's Internet Show and Tell. This is my pin cushion. It's a little cactus in a pot. I got it in Michigan. You enjoy
Aw.
looking at that later. It's a cutie. On the inside,
very
it's a
excited.
yarn ball.
Oh, that's cute.
She's never gonna look this up. She's never gonna see my cactus pin cushion except
I
if she
am gonna
sleeps in
see
this
it.
room when she comes here. So.
I am. I promise. I will. I will see it.
Okay,
All right. What are your final thoughts on this game / book? What
Okay.
is? What are your final thoughts on this whole experience? Because
Wow.
Wow.
Final thoughts on the book. It's not that the book was bad. I'm just not going to read it again. It's 84 pages, and it's not that fun. But it's not
No.
bad, okay? This isn't like Treasure in a Royal Tower trash garbage. It's fine.
yeah,
It's on my Kindle. If I want to read something in sub an hour, I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to, though.
No.
I'm usually in reading for the long haul. My current book is 320-something pages, and I'm live, laugh, loving it.
exactly.
I say my current book as if I'm not reading 3 at one time like a crazy person.
Okay, Rory Gilmore.
Oh my goodness, thank you. What do you think of the color of this room now that I painted your guest room?
It's very beautiful.
I also recurated the art in the actual guest room.
Oh, fun!
Yeah.
I
It's
get
no
to see
longer
it.
pictures from college. It's pictures from my various adventures that I'm not in.
Woo-hoo.
My thoughts on that game are really just like, I don't need it. You know, if it's not you and me playing for like 5 hours and not finding out that there was a projection booth and some stranger on the internet having to tell us that we fully missed a location and a character. Like, I don't want it. It's fine. I do agree. If ever the new Her Interactive team wanted to take an old game and like give it a new life, this would be the game. Like, I don't want it remastered. I want a full-on do-over. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go to Luis Falcone's art studio and I want to find Nicholas in the trailer and I want to like do all that, you know?
Yeah.
I think this game is a game that I would love them just to take another pass on. Like a couple of the really, really old ones where the book was really, really good, I have kind of formed the opinion of like, try again. Like, give me this one more time. You know, Britney Spears this. Hit me baby one more time. The other thing I want to say about this book / game is every once in a while in a Nancy Drew game, the kind of like moral message or the subplot or something involved in the game is just like, let's preserve art. Art is cool and art is part of our history and like let's keep culture alive. And this is, I think, one of like the earlier moments where they really do that, where they kind of pull out like, hey, let's keep this like beautiful handcrafted plaster work alive. Like, don't put in another gray box. Like, let's repurpose this space with all its beauty for like something new. And as a woman who owns and lives in a 115-year-old house, like, yeah, I love that. Obviously, I live in an old house. Like, of course, you know, I love that. I, you know, would much prefer to find old things and give them a new life than I would buy new things. And sometimes that doesn't work out, as evidenced by my current china cabinet debacle. But
you'll find your china cabinet, I promise.
Well, really the problem is I think that like, I think in this house, because of the space constraints, we kind of have to go with the like MDF sticker because we need something so compact. And like if I want to buy a china cabinet that's antique or vintage or used or whatever, like those things are honkers, okay? They're beautiful. They don't fit in my house though.
Yeah.
So I think like for this house, and we want to be in here for several years, like just dropping $150 on MDF and a sticker, as much as that's going to hurt my heart, I think is like kind of the way to go here, mainly because like Ryan could build me something of wood, but he hasn't done like wood and glass yet, and so like I don't really want this to be the time we try that.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I always really appreciate when part of or the subplot of or the plot of a Nancy Drew thing is that like art is a gift. Like we should preserve our history, whether that be like our actual history or our history through art. Like that's always a message I find to be really like appreciative, and I find a lot of beauty in, and I really love like bringing that to kids. And I think like speaking as two kids who did this, right, like that message landed with us. Like we both like old things, and we both like to give things new life, and it's something as a teacher that I don't see landing with the students I teach, but of course it doesn't always land with 11-year-olds. Like maybe they're going to grow up and kind of come to that on their own, I hope. But it's always something I really appreciate. So like, even though I don't feel the need to read this book again, and I don't really feel the need to play this game again unless it's with you and we're ultra tired and we can't find the projection booth. You know, like I do really appreciate that part of it. Like that message is something that when it pops up in a Nancy Drew game or when it pops up in a Nancy Drew book, like always lands with me, and I can see the way that like shaped me in my own childhood. That being said, I didn't have as much time. Every time I passed the Yak poster in my mind, I went, Yak! But there was no one here to yak with me. Every time I saw Nicholas Falcone, I went, I've had it! And I just looked for you, and you weren't here. And I'm like...
You know, I was doing it in spirit. I was doing
were.
it on the other side of the pond. The
In
river.
the river?
We don't live that far away from each other.
Bro, it's
So
a
across the
river. I know
balls.
it's a wide
Yeah.
river, but like it's not the ocean.
It's not the ocean, mate. We don't live that far.
Mate, we could call it like the stream, you know? It's like a
The
similar
stream.
a simile.
The stream, the lake.
My goodness, I have been watching a lot of Taskmaster because all of their episodes are free on YouTube.
Yeah.
And Jason Mantzoukas is in the current series of Taskmaster. It's so funny. There's this woman on Taskmaster right now. Her name is Fatia. And have you ever watched Taskmaster before? I mansplained this to you. Okay.
No.
It is what it sounds like. At the start of every episode, the contestants bring in a prize, and the prize is themed. And then the winner of those tasks from the episode gets to take home the things their castmates brought in. And then, like, in the actual episode, there's 3 tasks, all of them hilarious, that these people tried to do when they were recording, and then they do one live task at the show, and the winner gets to take home the prizes. Okay?
Yeah.
One of the prize tasks was something a middle-aged man needs on his nightstand. Okay? One guy brought in a book of poems because he thought it sounded lovely. One girl said, you need some mystery, so I brought you a quill. Why do you need a quill? I don't know. Ooh. One girl brought in a picture of their mom, but then the picture has, curtains. So if you ever don't want your mom watching you sleep, you can close the curtains.
That's good.
Jason Mantzoukas is like, I am a middle-aged man, okay? You know what I need in the middle of the night? I need a flashlight, because when I wake up to pee, I can't turn on the lights because then I'll wake myself up, but I don't want to fall over things in the night. So he brings in a flashlight that is so bright that it is a health hazard to other people, and he's not allowed to turn the flashlight on while other people are in the room. So he has to turn the flashlight, he has to come back after everybody leaves, turn the flashlight on while nobody else is in there, and they record him turning the flashlight on so that they can see the brightness of the flashlight that is too bright for human eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It would hurt someone. And then Fatia truly kills me. She brought an orange that she wrote the word audacity in Sharpie. And she goes, here's why this is on a middle-aged man's nightstand. Because in the morning, you wake up and you squeeze the orange with audacity written on it, and you drink its juice, and that's where you get the audacity to be a middle-aged man from that day. And everyone else is so confused. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. Tears are streaming down my face. I think this is so funny.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That is so funny.
And like the way she says it kills me. It's so hilarious. She, at one point, I don't really understand British slang. I'm a Midwestern American, okay? Like, I just live my life. I don't really understand British slang. At one point, a duck walks in front of her feet, and she goes, bruv. And just, like, gives the duck the dirtiest look until it walks away. So funny. At some point, they're doing an Olympics with, like, peas that you like, put on, like, a vegetable, you know? Mm-hmm. And one task says, throw the pea as far as you can. Like, throw it as far as you can.
Yeah.
And she turns around and she looks at the guy and she's like, I'm going to drop it right here because you all are deranged and you're going to go make me pick it up. What's the next task? Go find the pea and bring it back. And she literally goes, bruv. Literally.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
She's so funny. You just watch an episode. You're going to laugh so hard you cry.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. She sounds just like she's just a queen.
It's her and Jason Mantzoukas, okay? The chaos is unmatched.
That's awesome.
Unmatched. It's so funny. That's what I've been up to recently. I don't know why I felt the need to tell you about it, but
I'll have to check it out. It sounds very funny.
yeah, listen, you can watch that and do the Myrtle during the YouTube ads.
Very true.
Why buy the book when you have the free online version? Save money.
Cause the book is book.
I bought you 4 books for your birthday 2 years ago. Have you opened a single one of them?
Yes.
I gave you a mystery game for your table 2 years ago. Have you opened the plastic bag it's in?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting right here next to me.
Internet, has she finished a single one of those 5 things? No.
To be fair, the game I would like to play with a person. I don't want to play the game by myself. The Hunter Killer I could do by myself, but the Clue game.
The Hunter Killer is what I sent you home with.
Oh, I thought you meant the Clue game that you got me for my birthday.
No, I sent you home with my Hunter Killer bag like 2 years ago.
Yes, that one I could do by myself. The Clue game that you gave me for my birthday, I want to do with a person.
Yeah, that is a good with people's game. Long story short, you should not spend money on a book of murder mystery games. I gave you book and free murder mystery games, and you hasn't done none of them. Save money.
I'll do them online.
Literally before I get out of bed, which is tragic because the sleep coach says I have to get out of bed within 15 minutes of waking. Horrifying, I know. And if you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel awake, you have to leave your bed until you feel sleepy again.
What?
Yeah, awful. They're evil. They're evil people, the sleep people. They're Joseph Hughes from the book.
Oh my god. They appear nice, but they're actually evil.
They're evil. They don't appear nice. They're evil. No, every morning I play, so the Myrtle sends out a full version Myrtle and a mini Myrtle. Mm-hmm. So before I get out of bed in the morning, I play the mini Myrtle and the Myrtle. And then I get out of bed. And then they're like, you got out of bed 17 minutes after waking, you're a failure. And I'm like, listen, sometimes the main Myrtle is hard, okay?
Exactly. You need a little extra time to think.
The mini Myrtle only takes me 3 minutes. But the other one takes more than 3 minutes sometimes, you know? This is my last Easter egg for you.
Yeah.
Just want you to gaze into this. One day you're going to text me what this is, and I'm going to be like, huh? I got my most Rileyest cup for this stream.
The most Rileyest cup?
I got this for $6 from a Hobby Lobby with a
Heck
coupon.
yes. Heck yes.
Yours was not that much money. I'm just saying. Okay. Some of us are awesome. Okay, do you have anything else you want to put on the record for today?
Only that I will probably never play this game again. I've played it probably twice in my life, and
both with and for me.
And once was enough.
Once was the only fun time. These old games, like, the first time I played them was the only fun time. I played them with you. It was 2 a.m. Like,
the only, like, truly old game that I genuinely enjoy is Message in a Haunted Mansion.
Because you Stockholm Syndromed it.
I did.
It's also not
It's
bad.
my first Nancy Drew game I ever played. Of course, I have to like it.
Yeah. You did kind of ruin me. The first one I ever played was Sea of Darkness.
Oh, it's just such a good game.
Why'd you do that to me?
At least I didn't give you the Blue Moon Canyon one first.
That was my second game.
What's wrong with me?
Actually, though, like...
Well, you know what happened? You know what happened was the reason you started playing these games was because I went home to my parents' house and I brought back my favorite games because I was stressed out.
And Kapu Cave. You brought back your favorite games in Kapu Cave.
Well, I didn't have the box for it. So I had that pink thing that, like, holds my games.
I know what a disc holder is. I was born in the 1900s.
I'm explaining for those who weren't.
No one but us is watching these, Riley.
I'm explaining for the youths, okay? So
we can't time travel and send these to our 15-year-old selves.
When we watch these 20 years from now...
I'll still know what a disc holder is. I was born in the 1900s, bruh.
And we have to explain to our descendants what a disc holder is.
Our descendants are watching these.
You're going to be grateful. No. Anyway, I have games that don't have boxes, so that's why Kapu Cave was in there. I don't have a box for it.
These children are going to be like, what's a box? Why would your games
But
be in a
I'm like,
box? All my
back in
games are
kids,
digital.
you didn't buy it off a stream. You bought it in a box for $20 at Target.
I didn't do that.
That's no, you got them from the store, like the actual Her Interactive store.
Nah. I bought 4 of them for $4 on eBay.
Yeah, you did that too.
And then
That was
Sam
weird.
bought them all from the store, and then I took the digital copy onto my flash drive. I'm a thrifty woman.
You did. You did.
I know.
I was buying them when they came out, as they were coming out.
I was
So
reading
I
books
had to
like a
buy
nerd.
them for $20 when they came out at the store.
Horrifying.
But yeah, no, the reason you played all the good games first was because I packed the empty slots in my disc holder with my favorite games that I wanted to play that didn't stress me out, which was probably Sea of Darkness, Blue Moon Canyon, Secret of the Shadow Ranch. I'm thinking what I had at the time.
Cabo Cave.
Kapu Cave is not my favorite game, but that just
But it was
happened
in
to be
there,
in
and so was Haunted Carousel, because I really wanted to play it, and you kept telling me, no, it's a bad game, don't play it. And
It's
I
a
was
bad
like,
game.
I want to play it, give it to me.
Yeah, that one, because I don't have the box for that one. I do have the box for that one.
It was in the disc holder.
I think I brought it for you
I think you did.
because you told me that you wanted to play it. And then I probably brought which one takes place in Japan?
Water's Edge.
Water's Edge. I brought that one, I bet. And then I don't know that I had the Thornton Hall one yet.
You did
That one
not
might have
own
just
it.
been downloaded on my computer if I did
Yeah.
have it, because that's my favorite game and it's always downloaded on my computer.
Yeah, the first game I ever played that I owned, I have the like Shadow Ranch, Blackmore Manor, Crystal Skull, and then there's a 4th one. It's a 4-pack. Oh, White Wolf.
Mhm.
So the first one I ever played that I owned was Shadow Ranch. The first 3 I ever played was Sea of Darkness, Blue Moon Canyon, and Carousel.
Yeah. You've got some good like first games in your repertoire.
I did, and then I went back to play all of them, and the first like 6 are real stinkers. That being said,
Yeah.
we have one last piece of business here before we have to do the thing where we tell people to leave,
Yeah.
and then I let you go to bed because it's 10 o'clock, but I'm not allowed to get in bed for another 57 minutes. I'm also not supposed to use screens 2 hours before bedtime, but take that, sleep doctor.
Uh-oh.
Whatever.
Breaking the rules.
No, so the next game is Ghost Dogs and
Ghost
Moonlight.
Dogs. Mm-hmm.
And when will we be streaming that? Today is currently June 18th, 2025.
We're gonna have to look at our calendars to figure that
I'm sorry.
out.
Are we going to stream that one before I go back to school for the year?
Yes.
In the year 2025.
Yes.
Okay, everyone, we heard it here first. Look at the description of this video later, right? Before you go to bed, tell
Okay.
me your feeling about the description of this video. Take us out, girlfriend. Do you remember what we are supposed to say at the end of this?
Something along the lines of, if you are not Riley and if you are not Callie, and you did not like this episode, then what are you still doing here? Because
invited.
Yeah, you weren't invited, and this wasn't for you anyway.
And we did ask
but
you to
if
leave.
you did enjoy it, we hope you did. And I'm sorry that this game is what we covered because it sucks.
See you later, bye!
Bye!